What if I told you there's a small space company right now that some investors believe could quietly become one of the biggest surprise stocks of this decade? Not Apple, not Nvidia, not Tesla. I'm talking about Planet Labs, ticker symbol PL. And honestly, this stock is weird because almost nobody outside the investing world even talks about it. But the people who are bullish on it, they think this company could become insanely valuable by 2030. At the same time, other investors think Planet Labs is just another overhyped money-losing space company that'll never survive long-term. So which side is right? That's exactly what we're going to break down today. We'll talk about what Planet Labs actually does, why investors are getting interested, the AI connection nobody talks about enough, realistic 2030 price predictions, the massive risks, and at the end, I'll give you my personal opinion on whether this stock is worth buying right now. And trust me, the final conclusion is probably not what you expect. Alright, let's get into it. So first of all, what even is Planet Labs? Most people hear satellite company and instantly get bored, but don't click off yet, because this gets interesting fast. Planet Labs owns hundreds of satellites orbiting Earth, and these satellites constantly take images of the planet every single day. Now at first glance you might think, okay cool, Google Maps from space, whatever. Nah bro, that's not the real business. The real business is data. Planet Labs is basically building one of the largest real-time Earth data systems in the world. And that data can be used for military surveillance, tracking climate change, monitoring agriculture, watching shipping routes, detecting floods, tracking oil production, border security, and even AI training systems. Think about that for a second. The company is literally collecting visual information from Earth daily. That's powerful. And honestly, in today's world, data is everything. Now here's where things get really interesting. Most investors are focused on AI software companies right now. Everyone's talking about ChatGPT, AI chatbots, AI chips, AI tools. But almost nobody talks about the thing AI actually needs. Data. Without data, AI is useless. And Planet Labs sits in a very unique position because they own something incredibly difficult to build. A massive satellite network collecting real-world information. That's one reason why bullish investors are excited. Now let's talk money. Because at the end of the day, none of this matters if the business can't grow financially. Planet Labs has been growing revenue over the years. But the big issue is profitability. The company still burns cash. And that's where investors get nervous. Because the market today is very different compared to 2021. Back then, investors were throwing money at anything related to tech or space. Now, Wall Street wants actual profits. And if companies fail to deliver, stocks get crushed. We've already seen that happen to a lot of growth stocks. So Planet Labs is stuck in this interesting position where the future opportunity looks massive, but the financial risks are still very real. And honestly, that's why this stock is so controversial. Now let's talk about the industry itself. The global space economy is expected to become massive over the next decade. We're talking hundreds of billions, possibly trillions of dollars long term. And space isn't just rockets anymore. That's the mistake people make. Most people think, space companies? Oh, you mean Elon Musk rocket stuff? No. The real money could actually be in data, communication, AI systems, defense technology, and Earth monitoring. And Planet Labs is heavily connected to that world. Now here's another thing most investors don't realize. Governments love information, especially during periods of global tension. And lately, the world has become way more unstable. Wars, political conflicts, border tensions, military spending increasing everywhere. Countries want better surveillance, better tracking, better intelligence, and companies like Planet Labs can benefit from that demand. That's a huge reason some investors think this company has long-term potential. Now, before you get too excited, let's talk about the risks. Because trust me, there are many. First risk, competition. Planet Labs is not the only company operating in the satellite or Earth. Imaging industry and competition can get brutal. Second risk, profitability. A company can have amazing technology, but if it never becomes profitable, investors eventually lose patience. Third risk, market sentiment. Growth stocks are emotional. Very emotional. One bad earnings report, one weak forecast, one missed expectation, and the stock can drop 20% in a day. Seriously, these stocks are not for weak hands. And fourth risk, execution. A lot of companies have great ideas. Very few actually execute successfully. That's the hard part. Now let's talk about the part everybody clicked for. Planet Labs stock prediction for 2030. Obviously, Nobody can predict the future perfectly. Anyone claiming they know exactly where a stock will go is probably lying for views. But we can look at possible scenarios. Let's start with the bearish case. If Planet Labs struggles with profitability, competition increases, growth slows down, or the economy weakens, then honestly, the stock could underperform badly. In that situation, I could see the stock staying somewhere around $5 to $8 by 2030. Not terrible, but definitely disappointing for investors expecting huge gains. Now let's move to the moderate scenario. This is where the company continues growing steadily, improves margins, lands more government contracts, and slowly moves toward profitability. In that case, I think somewhere around $12 to $18 becomes realistic by 2030. That would still be very strong returns from current levels. But now, let's talk about the bull case. And this is where things get kinda crazy. Imagine this. AI demand explodes. Space data becomes incredibly valuable. Planet Labs becomes a key data provider. Government partnerships increase, and the company finally becomes profitable. If all of that happens, then honestly, a $20 to $30 stock price by 2030 doesn't sound impossible anymore. Crazy, maybe. Impossible, not really. And remember, small cap stocks can move very aggressively when momentum kicks in. We've seen it happen before. Stocks nobody cared about suddenly become market favorites overnight. Now, personally, do I think Planet Labs becomes the next Nvidia? Probably not. Let's be realistic. But do I think the market might currently be underestimating this company? Possibly, because again, most people still don't understand that Planet Labs is really a data business disguised as a satellite company. And data businesses can become extremely valuable. Now here's my personal investing approach with a stock like this. I would never go all in. Never. This type of stock belongs in the speculative part of a portfolio, meaning high risk, high reward, because there's still a real chance this company struggles long term. That's the truth. A lot of YouTubers only talk about upside, but smart investors also think about downside risk. And honestly, that's how you survive in the market long term. Now here's something psychological that's important. If you invest in stocks like Planet Labs, you need patience, because volatility will destroy emotional investors. People panic too easily. The stock drops 15%, they sell, then 6 months later the stock doubles, and they regret it forever. That cycle happens constantly in the stock market. The people who usually win are the ones who stay rational. Now I want to ask you something. Would you personally hold a risky stock like Planet Labs for the next 5 years? Or do you only invest in safer companies? Drop your answer in the comments because I genuinely want to know how you guys think about risk. And another question, do you think space data will become more valuable in the future? Or is this entire industry overhyped? Honestly, I think that debate is what makes Planet Labs so fascinating. Because if this industry succeeds, early investors could be rewarded massively. But if the industry disappoints, these stocks could struggle for years. That's the reality. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video and want more underrated stock analysis videos like this, make sure you subscribe because we're going to cover more hidden growth stocks, AI plays, and future technology companies before everybody else starts talking about them. And yeah, smash the like button if you made it this far because it seriously helps the channel push these videos to more people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.